Hi everyone, my name is Sandra. Welcome back to my channel. So as you can see by the title, this is my 2021 New Year bullet journal setup. And of course, I always say I'm excited to share these with you. It seems they're really popular, especially at the beginning of the year. And I have to say that I think this bullet journal, not so much the journal itself, but the way I've set it up is probably one of my favorites. And the main reason for that is I have done probably about 12 of these so far since I started bullet journaling, and I've really figured out what my favorite style is and what kind of spreads I want to include in a bullet journal setup for the beginning year spreads. So you can see here I've added a key and I've kept it pretty simple. This is very similar to the original bullet journal method. And the most important part, my name. And this is my title page. So it's very simple. All I've decided to add is the year 2021. And I've done a little detail work. And the bullet journal I am using for this is an Archer and Olive. I got this probably about 2 years ago. And it is an A5 size, so if you guys have seen my previous bullet journal setup, it was a B5 size. I'll link that for you in case you're curious. You can go ahead and check it out. And that one I had a lot of room, so this is going to kind of downsize a little bit for me, but I'm excited to be able to carry it around with me again. It's a lot more portable. And the pens I'm using for this are the Marvy for drawing pens. I really like these pens. I notice I use them quite often in my new bullet journal setups, and I did get them from Stationery Pal, I believe. And to fill in the background for all of the black ink, I'm using my Faber-Castell Artist Pitt brush pen. This is 199 Black. So I've decided to add a goals page as well, and if you guys have watched my channel in the past, I love my Cultivate What Matters goal setting planner. So that is where I create all of my main goals, and this page is going to be just a reminder of those goals, so I will transfer them over. If you are curious, I will leave that at the end of this video so you can go ahead and check out my goal setting videos. I have a lot of them. And I just decided to write the year in the center, and I had different categories for goals. So some of these are art, finances, family, personal, health, etc. These next two spreads are going to be my future log. So in my last bullet journal, I did not have a future log. I used a date book instead. And I found that it worked well. I didn't run out of room, but I was kind of thinking, what happens if there's a future thing that comes up and I don't have a specific date for it? Where would I put it? And I found myself adding it to my notes section, and then it would just get lost on a random page in my bullet journal. So I decided that having a future log might be a good idea after all. So I decided to go ahead and include one in this bullet journal. And you can also see My style of writing is monoline, but then I add the downstroke as if it were like foligraphy. So I like this style. I don't color in the words. I think it looks really neat with it being open, and I don't use any color in my beginning of year setups either. I really like how it looks like black and white. So this is my date book, and I did this in my last bullet journal. You will see that I only have 2 pages, so I think it gets me past the 26th week of the year, I believe. So I've done a couple of things different than I did before. Number one, I have made the columns a little bit smaller. I've made double rows, so you can see I've put the day of the week and the number underneath, and that just allows me more room. So if there is more things that come up in one of those days, I have the room for it. I've also decided to number the weeks, and I don't usually do this, but the main reason I did this time is so I can keep track of my blog. I do have a blog. If you guys are interested, you should check it out. It is at www.sandradahl.ca. I will leave that down below in the description box. If you're curious, go ahead and check it out. And so I thought it would be beneficial to have the number of the weeks. And also I went ahead and just highlighted in a light gray color all of the weekends, because for me, I run on a Sunday to Saturday schedule, and my son has weekends off, so I just like to know when those are. These next couple of spreads are dedicated to my YouTube channel, and now I've done a lot of pre-planning in my Happy Planner, and that's where I do most of my work going forward, especially into the new year. But this is more of my YouTube milestones. So I just want to have kind of a memory of where I was at a certain time in my life, and I wanted to be able to track it. So that's kind of what this page is. beside the YouTube milestones is my bullet journal theme ideas. So I do like to have an area where I can write down every single idea that I have for each month, and that is where that goes right here. I've also included another Polaroid memory spread, this bullet journal, and I've noticed in the last few I haven't used them. I don't know why. I'm struggling. This is probably one of the things I should add to my goals is fill in your Polaroid memories. So I've added 2 pictures per month because I think this journal is only going to last me 3 months. It depends if I do daily spreads or not. And this next page is my health tracker. So on the left hand side, I like to include my yearly weight tracker. I won't fill in any of the information here, but you will see just kind of a graph style that I write out. And the right hand side is a period tracker. So for those of you who don't care about this, just skip to the next spread. This spread is, again, kind of like a tracker, so it is places I went, just so I can keep memories of anywhere that I've gone, and I don't see myself going anywhere in the near future, only because we're still kind of restricted to what we can do and where we can go, at least until we get a vaccine, I believe. But, I mean, I can still go places around in the city and hopefully visit relatives sooner or later. So down below, I have things borrowed and things lent. I had a discussion about this with someone once in a previous bullet journal spread, and I like to track mine because I like lending out my stuff if someone asks to borrow it. I have a lot of books, I have a lot of movies, and I just want to keep track because I do want it back. I spend valuable time and money, and it's almost like an investment, so I do want those items back. And on the right hand side is to check it out. So I have movies and TV, and I've got books, and I just like to have an area to write all of that stuff down. This next spread is one that I've never done before in a bullet journal. It is 21 in 2021, and I guess it's a bucket list type spread, and I have no idea what I'm going to put here. Probably items like maybe not necessarily dreams, but things I wouldn't normally do or things I've never done before and that I want to do. So I thought it was kind of interesting to think of 21 ideas. And of course, I've got a master task list. So this one is different in that I have broken it up into 3 different categories. I have home, art, and photos. Those might sound like weird topics, but home is going to be for any renovation projects or large projects. Art is anything to do with my painting that I've kind of put on the back burner since my daughter was born. And photos, I have a lot of catching up to do when it comes to my kids. I've got some projects I just want to get done, kind of like scrapbooking projects. And I've got certain books that you print a whole bunch of photos in for year of birthdays, etc., stuff like that. So that's where those things are going to go. And this page is my video Kanban. So this has probably been one of my most useful bullet journal spreads, and you really only need this, of course, if you're making videos and you have a YouTube channel or some kind of place where you have videos. And how it works is you label each of these rows, and then you use little stickies, and as you go through the video process, you move the sticky note to each of the different levels. And really, it's only useful if you have lots of videos at one point, which I do. I like to batch my videos, so I'll film 4 to 5 videos in one sitting, and then I'll edit them at various times throughout the week. And this is so helpful. So that is why I have carried this forward. This spread is my reading list and my watch list. So these are things, and not to check out, but ones that I have done. So lately, I noticed that I haven't been reading as much, and I figured, why am I writing such a big spot for it? But one of my goals in 2021 is to read more books, and so I'm really hoping that I can fill this out. Watch list, I have watched more lately than I've read, but I have a lot of series on Netflix that only had one season, and I'm hoping that they will start to come out with more seasons. So probably a lot of TV in 2021 too. The next spread is my makeup and stationery. Normally I have included this per month, and I write a new list every month, and you know what? I'm really trying to dial it back and save a bit more in finances this year. So I'm going to dial it back and not spend as much, and I figured that one spread, one page, should be enough for all of the makeup and stationery that I need to buy. So here I'm just going back to my period tracker, and I'm filling in all of the little boxes in the tracker itself. You will notice I started this tracker in August, and that is because I've carried it forward for the last 2 bullet journals. And I did start it in August, and it just makes more sense to me to be able to see it from when I started. Normally I would have used an iPhone app for this, but the one that I used to use, I think it was called PinkPad, they discontinued it for some reason. So I thought, well, instead of trying to get another one, I'm just going to write it in my bullet journal. So this might not always be a thing. I might go back to digital soon, just because it's easier and I always have my phone with me. But for now, it's kind of cool to have in my bullet journal. So last but not least, this is the final flip through of this setup. I will let you enjoy, and I'll talk to you at the very end. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And click that bell button so you'll be notified every time I upload. Talk to you soon. Bye now.